So we've already looked at concatenation in some respect, but we're going to take a video just to explain about concatenation and how we can do it and how we might want to use it and why we might want to use it. So when we create variables in JavaScript, we can concatenate the values together. We can concatenate user input that we get, anything really that involves something that can be concatenated, like integers and strings. We tend to only do this with strings though, if we're outputting something specific. So let's take a little example, and we'll go ahead and create a variable called name, and we'll call this Alex. And we want to go ahead and we want to console log something out. Now I want to console log out a sentence, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to construct the sentence within this console log parameter, which is a string, and I'm going to say my name is, and we want to output Alex here. So what we can actually do is we can either concatenate this to the start of a string, the end of a string, or we can do it in between strings, so we can concatenate multiple times if we want. And we can also concatenate multiple data types as well, so we'll take a look at that in just a moment. So if I wanted to say just my name is Alex, I would put a space after the last or the ending of the string, and this just basically means concatenate on, and then I type in name. Which is the variable name that we created up here. Now, don't let this confuse you with addition. We can use the plus symbol to add values together as well, but in this case, we're using it to concatenate two values together, not add them together, because a string add a string just concatenates. Let's go ahead and look at the output. So down here it says my name is Alex. So as I said before, what we can do is we construct a sentence something like name plus is my name. So in this case we'll concatenate this on in the first part of the string. Now what we could also do is we can include another variable, say age, and we could go ahead and we could construct an all new sentence that says my name is X and my age is Y. So what we can do here is, I tend to do it like that, just makes more sense. But what we've done is we've started a string, we've come along and we've ended a string, we're concatenating on name, we're concatenating on another string with a space here obviously, we're going all the way to the end, and then we're concatenating on age. Now we're doing two things here. We're concatenating on a name and then an additional string, and we're also concatenating on an integer. Now how is this going to handle, because plus means add, but we're adding a string and an integer together. So isn't JavaScript here going to get confused? Well, what's going to happen is it's sort of clever enough to work out that because this is a string, we want to concatenate this into within the string. We don't actually want to add anything. We don't want to add a number. So when I hit refresh, you can see it says my name is Alex and my age is 24. What we could do is we could say something like my name is Alex and in 2 years I will be, and in here we could say plus 24. Now what happens if we do 24 and then plus 2? What's going to happen? Now this is a little tricky, but we're all for experimenting in this sense. So this has not worked out how we want. I've refreshed here and it says my name is Alex and in 2 years, or 2 year, let's just change that. In 2 years I will be 242, which is not the case. It should read 26. What we've done here is, because this is part of a string concatenation, it's concatenated on 24 as we'd expect as part of the string, but it's also then concatenated on 2 as part of the string also. Now what happens if I wrap this in brackets? Well, let's go ahead and refresh, and we get the right result. So what's actually happened here? Well, what's happened is we've set this, we set the precedence of this to be first. So we calculate this operation first. So it says 24 add 2. It's two numbers, so JavaScript knows that because it's two numbers and we're using the plus symbol, we want to add rather than concatenate. We don't want to concatenate 24 and 2 to make 2, 4, 6. So it's added them two together and worked out 26, and then what happens is it adds 26 on to the string and actually gives us the value that we require. So concatenation in JavaScript is a little bit tricky in terms of working with numbers and everything like that. We can also work with data types as well. So we could say available today equals false, and I could again concatenate on a full stop. I am, or let's say available today question mark plus available today. Now what do you think is going to happen here? Because we're adding on a Boolean value, it will give us the value false. So we can actually output Booleans as strings as well. We can do this with floats, anything we really want, to be honest. So we can output things like floats, so floating point integers, things like that. So that was a quick introduction on how to concatenate and how not to get confused between concatenating numbers and adding numbers being an arithmetic operation, not concatenation.